So I was asked to give a small testimony about the workshop yesterday. My name is Tae Nomura, and I was part of the Chanyan team on the drum. First, why I joined is solely because Sumika Yi asked me for drum. That's the pure main reason. Everything else, to be honest, that wasn't important to me. Senji and Sumika came back from the Vegas maybe a month ago. So I knew how much they were struggling, and to be back here and then put in back in a, similar position, I know it's not an easy thing to do. And after talking to Senji mainly, and then I knew that they needed the support to make the Chanyan team work. And we actually only had less than a week to practice. We only had 4 days of practice. But somehow everybody did a really, really awesome job. Yeah. So if you could, yeah. And then as for the drum, it was me, myself, Mrs. Garrison, Sean, and Chris. And Chris and Mrs. Garrison was the first time. But during the practice, I was worried a little bit because they weren't on tempo, the right tempo. But on the main event, they were on the spot so many times. So we're dang, I guess the spirit were working. I mean, I did a 40-day work champion on Chanyan team. So that's why I wasn't nervous or worried personally, because of that experience. And Sean as a main drummer for the band. So, and he also did it back in 2018. Myself, Manuel, and Sean. So because of that trust I had within my team, I wasn't worried that it's gonna go bad. And as a tempo keeper, that's the main, that's a core of, I believe that's a core of the Chanyan. If we're too fast or too slow, everything's gonna be offbeat and then it's gonna be so bad. Anyways, the point is, I joined because of really solely to help out Sumika and also have a great experience for everybody. Thank you. And now I'd like to welcome up Mihwa.
Hi, good morning, church. Okay, so I was asked to give this testimony 10 minutes ago. Yeah, and I was freaking out. I was oh my God, I'm not ready. But I did feel like God had something that he wanted to share through me, and that I had some sort of experience that maybe he wants me to share and that you can learn from. So really quickly, my name is Mihwa Prieto, Mihwa Morimoto now. I'm 23, and I just graduated, or I just finished working with GPA Heavenly USA, and I got blessed this year. So, yeah. Yes, so just a little background. This summer, I went to the third 40-day spirituality workshop, and it was really amazing. I learned so much about Ansu, about Chanyan, about the spirit world. And I think a big takeaway that I had was understanding the importance of Ansu, having my own personal experiences with the spirit world, and how it directly affects us. But I think one thing that I didn't exactly break through in was my understanding of Cheonbo, which I realized I didn't break through in so much while I was here preparing for it. And yeah, I think the beginning part that I wanted to share was the whole process of registering for ancestral liberation. I think a lot of us can relate to maybe how complicated it feels or how much, how expensive it can be if we see it through the lens of like just money and material things. But yeah, when I was going through the process of registering, I had to look at both my mom's side and my dad's side because I didn't know where we were at. But I did know that I wanted to contribute in liberating ancestors. But then going through the process, it was really complicated because my dad's side did it perfectly, but my mom's side, when I was looking at the records, it was so messy. So messy. There was just a bunch of down payments and incomplete payments. Like my mom had 112 ancestors liberated, but the first 7 generations was an incomplete to payment. But then there's another side, the grandmother's mother's side, that from 1 to 112, that was all incomplete, $5 down payments, $1 down payments. So yeah, and that was the first time that I learned about the 1 through 7, you have to make that 700 and then 70, 70, 70 after that. So you can imagine being in my position, learning about that, then kind of feeling that internal struggle within myself of oh my God, that's so much. Why is this so messy? Why is this so complicated? Yeah, and I realized the more that I was having that kind of struggle within myself, I realized well, what is it? Because I feel the thing is that I'm actually dealing with inside is this attachment that I have to money and to material things. But the day before, me and Victor had a conversation, and I'm really grateful for Victor because he's someone that has a lot more conviction in the spiritual things like this. And I'm grateful that he's someone that can lead our couple towards this spiritual direction and understanding and offering that we can make. And yeah, I realized in the process I had this this revolution inside me, even though I was struggling, because when I was sitting down during the registration time, I was thinking a lot about my family. And a lot of you guys don't know about my family situation, but it's not the easiest. Yeah, I have a lot of to me it feels like the reason is very spiritual, what's happening in my family. And I was thinking a lot about that. Especially my mom being more distant from the church, and then struggles in their blessing. And so I had this realization or point of the process where I realized it came down to making a choice, and a choice of faith, of believing that if I made this offering, that this can actually do something spiritually for my family. Yeah, and I started thinking a lot more about my mom, and I was thinking a lot about my siblings, and if this wasn't resolved spiritually in the first generation, then what's going to happen to our couple, and what's going to happen to my siblings back at home? Yeah, and it came down to me choosing to have faith that, this offering is something that can really make some sort of spiritual shift in my family. And this is something that I wanted to take responsibility for. And so from $400, I sent my husband back to the bank to get the rest of the at least the first 7 generations. I know that's not a lot compared to a lot of the offerings that you guys make. But yeah, it was interesting because once I let go of that attachment to the material things, I felt so much lighter, spiritually so much lighter, knowing that these ancestors can actually make a difference in my family's spiritual situation. And I really felt happy to participate in the next day. Yes, it's not a $400 down payment, but they're getting liberated tomorrow. They're getting liberated tomorrow. The first 7 generations, and they're gonna help. And so the night before Cheonbo event, I offered a prayer to God before I slept. Just praying for my ancestors, praying about the 3 things that I wanted help for. But then I also had this realization that, actually, liberating ancestors in the spirit world goes way beyond myself. It goes way beyond for my own sake. But actually, me liberating ancestors, from what I learned in the spiritual workshop, is that liberating ancestors in spirit world is also restoring the spirit world as well. So, imagine all of like the spirits that are suffering in the spirit world and want to be liberated from that. Imagine God's heart for all of the children. There's 7 billion people in this world today, but 6,000 years already passed. How many more spirits are living in the spirit world? More spirit bodies out there than here in the physical world. And how much are they suffering? And you can imagine God's heart. But also, how many more are longing and waiting to help True Mother during this time, this golden time? And so I was thinking beyond myself, actually, what I hope for and I pray for is that my 7 ancestors can really help True Mother at this time. At this time, Holy Mother Han. And that was a shift. Like the next day, that's all I was thinking about while I was like doing Chanyang, I was getting personal onsu. I was just thinking about how liberating anything that's on me, like I really want them to be a part of Providence. This is such an exciting time in Providence where I feel like God is making some sort of shift. God is trying to claim something, and if they can be a part of it, that's so exciting, and I want to liberate as much as I can, and I want them to be a part of this and to support True Mother. So, yeah, I'm grateful that, there's my situation, but I think that was like my main focus during yesterday's like entire Cheonbo event. Was just thinking about True Mother, also thinking about my family too. So yes, thank you for Ryuji-san for also sharing about how everything is devotion. This should be devotion. I agree with that. And yeah, thank you everyone for participating in the Cheonbo event. Thank you.